Hi, this is Maheshwari, and in this video, we'll be looking at a very interesting tutorial to create a grungy text effect using Illustrator and Photoshop. Very simple, please follow along. So let's get started. We are going to go to Illustrator and we will start with a new file. So click on the new file and let's choose an A4 document here. Click OK. And we have an A4 document right here. So if you want to have a reference of a text, the effect that you want to create, you can always bring that image right here into your workflow. So I have an image right here. I have this particular text effect and I'm trying to sort of emulate this text effect as a basic format. So let's choose a typeface here. I'm going to click and we'll use the same text here. So I'm going to write T. And if you scale it up, you can see the T here. And by default, every object that you are going to create in Illustrator might use the same typeface. So we might have to change this to another pretty thick typeface. So I'm going to just go down and I will choose this one, which is called this is called the Space Comics, and I'm going to choose this typeface here. Let's scale it up a little bigger. So we have this right now. And choose the same color here. So I'm going to just choose the fill color to be yellow. And we need to duplicate as well. So I'm going to just duplicate this. And for this, I'm going to create a stroke. So I'll just create a stroke. I'll use the blue, which is actually here. Let's take this blue, increase the stroke width, and we have something like this. So why actually I created a duplicate of this to create the stroke is that I want the stroke to be separate and I want the fill to be separate when I'm doing the 3D effect in here. So what I'm going to do right now is I'm going to take the text layer. I'm going to turn off the fill in here. So I'm going to select both these and we'll go to object and click on expand. So what this basically does is that it will convert a text object into a normal vector object. Click on this and we have these objects right now, which is what we want. So now what we're going to do is we are going to align it on top like this and bring it. So we have two elements here. This is not one shape, it is actually two. So we can click on the align tools to make sure that it's properly aligned. And now what we're going to do is we will group this. Click on group and we have this as a group. We are creating our first object right here. What we will do is now we are ready to go and apply a 3D effect into it. Let's go and apply an extrude and bevel option. We have this 3D right now, so we can see that the both these objects are in a different level right now, which is good for us. So what we are going to do is we'll go to the object settings right here. We can increase the depth, we can change the we can add the bevel values in here. So we have a bevel and you can see that it's happening in two different levels right now, in two different styles, because it is two different objects. This is exactly what we want. I'm going to change this to round and we have this. We can also choose the bevel inside option. So the cut is going to go inside and we can reduce the bevel width. So I'm just going to play around with it until I get the effect that I want. So once we have the effect that you actually require, what we are going to do is to go to materials. So I'm going to go to materials here. I'm going to add the Calcutta material into the stroke right here. So we have that Calcutta marble material on the stroke. So I'm going to select on the stroke right now. We go down and we can change the parameters back here. So I want the texture to be blue but still having that sort of effect. So I'm going to change the veins color, which is basically this, to black and see how that actually comes in. So this is now looking really cool right now. We'll do the same thing to the yellow part as well. I'm going to add the material there. I'll just go down, click on the yellow and choose the yellow color for that material. So we have that, and we can go down to the veins color. We can change it to something a little more, maybe a red is going to work. Yeah, looks really good right now. So we're done with it. We are going to go to the next section, which is lighting. So let's go here. Let's choose a diffuse lighting. Let's turn on the shadow. So we can see the shadow is coming below the object right now. We want it behind the object, and we can maybe play around with the... Okay, this actually looks pretty interesting. Cool, so this is fine. The lighting actually works, right? So we are not done yet. We can render this out. So we're going to select this, click on the render, and we can see the final quality of our text. This looks really amazing. We have the final render done for this. We are going to select this, right click, export our selection. We have this right now, and we'll export the asset. Now it's time to work on the next set of characters. So we can come here, we can basically turn off the render. So here, so let's fast forward to the end. Now we have the images exported from Illustrator. We're going to take it to Photoshop to finish the work there. So let's open Photoshop. Let's create a new file here. We'll create a 2000 by 2000 square document. We have this right now. I'm going to go and place the two images that we just created. So let's go to our 4x folder. We have these two layers, drag and drop it into our scene. So we have both the layers coming right here. We can rearrange it in the way that we want. So I want it to be somewhat like this. I want the T to be on top of this layer. So this is very easy to basically do a lot of color adjustments in Photoshop, and that's the reason we actually bought this to Photoshop. So I want the O to be a little smaller than that, so it sort of sits behind it. We have this right now. Just adjust the levels a little bit. So we have this right now. Let's bring in some background, which actually works here. So let's go to Google and look for a brick texture. Let's take a brick texture image. Let's go back to our document, bring our background layer. Okay, let's move it down here. Scale it up. We might need to actually distort this a bit because it needs to be sitting in a perspective for this to work. So we're going to make that perspective right here, roughly. Right, it looks okay. Select the background layer and play with the colors a little bit. Right, it looks pretty neat right now. What we will do is we will add, we'll create a duplicate of this, and we will merge all those layers. So that is going to be merged into one layer, so we can apply any effect on top of this. So what we are going to do is to make it a little more realistic. Filter, blur gallery, tilt shift, and we can see the tilt shift preview right here. I'm going to just change the orientation. So this is how you can create a pretty interesting text effect by using Illustrator and Photoshop. Try this out. Hope you have enjoyed the tutorial. I'll see you soon with another video. Till then, bye.